Hello and welcome to the end of May. This is my tour for the end of May around my plot as promised. There's been some ups and downs in May. Some things have gone really well. Other things aren't going quite so well, and some things have just driven me absolutely insane and going terribly. So let's go and have a wander around and I'll show you what's going on so far. So I thought we'd start here today in my second allotment. So this is the bed that I've got my potatoes in. I've had my potatoes in since March, I think, and they're doing really well now. They're all coming up really well. And what I've decided to do around these potatoes is mulch them with straw as well, because well, my compost consumption was just getting a bit too much out of hand. So I've decided to start mulching around my potatoes with straw. So that seems to be working really well. It does need a bit of an extra more in here now because I've not done it for about a week or so, but that seems to be working well. And I've also got the potatoes mixed in with the beans. So I've got broad beans here, all mixed in together. And then there's all different salads inside there as well. So let's have a little look up close at that bed, and we'll have a look at the one next to it as well, where I've got some cauliflowers and cabbages, and I've actually got some turnips that are growing, which is quite exciting. So let's go and have a close up. So this is close up in this bed now, so you can see the beans are just towering a bit over the potatoes at the moment, and you can see the straw down there, but yeah, it does need more. Go across the bed, so it just follows the same pattern really. Beans, potatoes, intermingled with bits of salad here and there. A lot of it's gone over and gone to seed now, so it's ready for the next lot of salad. I see some kale hiding in there, and then towards the back end of the bed down here we've got lots of spinach, which is just about to go to seed, I think, as well. It's got quite tall all of a sudden, and some onions. And then just in the bed across over here, let's go and have a look at that one up close. Okay, so we've got some really nice looking kale, which I've been picking from at the back there. Some really nice looking chard as well. I thought the chard wasn't going to grow this year, and it's actually come on really well, chard. And then here, I'm going to admit that I don't know if this, I think this is cauliflower, I think here. I'm not growing any heads or anything yet, but I think they're cauliflower because I have not got the labels. Some more chard, and then at the back here, some more of my favourite Rhodan lettuce. I think if I've discovered anything this year, it's that I could definitely be a lettuce farmer. Quite good at growing lettuce. Okay, and cabbages, I think. And then here is where, if I could just rumble in here, look, an actual turnip. In the past 2 years, I've tried to grow turnips in the autumn, but I've never grown them. And I've got one there, and there's another one behind there as well, which you probably can't see. But yeah. So 2 turnips, super exciting. And then I've got some spring onions back here and some coriander all mixed in at the back there as well. So that's this bed looking really good. Now let me show you the radish bed. So as well as being a lettuce farmer, I could also be a radish farmer. I've got so many radishes. Yesterday from this area, I picked 40 radishes. Now my kids did sow these radishes, so they just flung a load in the ground, and I'll be honest, I haven't done anything to it. I haven't weeded it. I've just left it because I know I can multi-sow them, so I haven't been that bothered. But yeah, it's got really crazy. So I pulled 40 radishes yesterday, and there are still so many more radishes that are ripe or nearly ready to be pulled. So I don't think we're going to be running short on radishes this year. And then in this bed here, I've got interplanted beetroot and parsnips, and some turnips at the back. So I'll just flip it round and show you those as well. So there we go at the back. There's the parsnips coming up. They will need thinning. I just haven't done them yet. And then we've got first row of radishes. Then in between I've got some beetroot just coming up there. Then we've got another row of radishes. There's so many radishes, it's just crazy. And then in between those, I've got another row of parsnips. They're just starting to come up. You can just see a couple of parsnips there. Then there's another row of radishes. They are all a mixed variety. They're all different radishes, but you can see them all down there. It's crazy. And then we've got carrots have come up now, so they'll need thinning out. And then at the back there, I've got a row of turnips as well that the kids did put in, and I have thinned them, but I think they need thinning a little bit more. So this is my strawberry bed. In here I've got strawberries all the way along, and then I've interplanted with some beans. So I've set the canes up over the strawberries, and I've got the beans in between them there. And I've also got some coriander, which is going to go to seed now. I think I've had it in quite a while. And down the bottom end of this bed I've also put some corn in as well, because I know that those things all grow really well together. I'm trying to keep as much of the soil covered as possible because I just don't have 12 hours a day to spend down here actually weeding as well as doing everything else. So that's the strawberry bed, and then I've just got one more bed behind here. I'm going to show you this one through the netting because it's a bit awkward the way the netting's on at the minute, and if I take it off I might not get it back on. But so I've got in here we've got sprouts just coming on. I'm not doing very well with sprouts this year. I'm gonna have to re-sow some more seeds, which means I won't get sprouts till really late in the year, but the ones I'm sowing aren't doing well. Rhubarb in the back corners, it's only its first season, so I'm just leaving that rhubarb this year. I'm not touching it. And then we've got some more lettuce, some Webb's Wonderful in here, in amongst some Savoy cabbages as well as the sprouts. So that's that bed. Not too much going on. Oh, that leaves me with 3 beds on this allotment still left to do. So I started digging this one at the weekend on Saturday, and it was the worst decision I think I have ever made. It was an absolute nightmare. It's the worst thing I've ever done. I started digging as this was just full of grass and weeds because it's not been touched for a few years because I only took it on last year and we haven't got around to digging it. So I started, but there was only about this much soil before I hit rock underneath. So most people would have stopped then and thought, this is a no dig bed, I'm just going to leave it and I'll just wait and get some compost when I can and I'll just leave it. But not me. I decided I was going to carry on. So I got off the top layer of weeds and then dug the first layer, and then once I started picking the rocks and stones out, I couldn't stop then. So I spent about 4 hours on Saturday pulling giant big rocks out of the bed and bricks, big massive bricks, double house bricks. There was one part I couldn't move at all. I had to get one of the other blokes on the allotment to come and help me get it out of the bed. It was ridiculous. It was massive. So that's how I spent Saturday. So now it's all mostly done. There's still a lot of rock and stuff underneath. I just don't really understand, you know, why they only put that much compost on, really. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it properly. So it's dug now anyway. I've done it. It just needs finishing off, and I'm going to put in some there's a frame just here to the left which I'll show you, but I'm going to plant some more climbing squash up there so I can grow them up this frame. That's why I decided to dig this bed rather than the others. And then in the rest of it I think I'm just going to put beans in the rest of it because I got a lot of beans waiting to go out as well still, so I think I'll put them in there. So let's go and have a look at the allotment with the chickens and see what I've got going on in there, because there is some cabbage craziness going on in there. Let's go and have a look. Okay, so we're back down on my first allotment. You can tell that this is the one with the chickens because everything is absolutely covered over with netting, and they still managed to bust in the other day, and they had my kohlrabi as well. They had some of the leaves off that, which was very annoying, but never mind. Can only do what I can do. So I'll give you a quick tour around all the beds here. I might not take the netting off all of them just in case I leave any gaps. I've got it quite well secured, but yeah, this is my cabbage bed, and I'm going to show you this bed up close. But I have learned a lesson, and that is that you should never plant, never plant about 16 cabbages all at the same time, because now they're all just coming ready to be harvested at the same time, and I don't know what I'm going to do with that many cabbages. I already make pickled cabbage and sauerkraut and things like that, but I've never made it with this type of cabbage before. It's always been with the hard cabbage, so I guess I'll have to give that a try because I'm going to have to do something with all these cabbages. So that's a lesson learned. Maybe I plant sow less, plant less, but maybe more successionally next time, instead of all in one go and having a whole bed all at once, because that's just crazy. So let me show you them up close. So welcome to Cabbagetown. These are all of my cabbages, and do you know what, they're all really, really beautiful, but they go all the way back down there to the back of the bed, and they're all sown on the same date, so they're all going to be ready around the same time. But yeah, look how pretty they are. The only downside is I didn't put the stick in to say which type they were. There was 2 types of cabbages I grew this year, so I'm not sure which type this one is. But yeah, I've got an awful lot of cabbage to get through. Let me show you the rest of the beds. This one right behind me here is where I've got some peas going on for now. I'm going to plant another row of peas, if I step back, just here in front here, so that they'll come on successionally after those ones. And then just to the side of that bed, I've got more peas here, which are really flowering now and looking really amazing. And then the other end of this bed, I've got lots of broad beans. And again, intermingled with them are some more salad, you can see. I think that's some Lola Rosa I've got in there now, because the salad died in at the beginning of the month, so obviously all gone. So I've got quite a good succession planting going on with salad at the moment. Let me take you over the other side. So this is the bed next to the cabbages. So if I can just show you, this is all of my red rhodon that I've got in here. It's so beautiful, and the colour looks lighter on the camera than it is in real life. It's really, really dark. It's such a pretty leaf, and really tasty too. So I'm going to do a little bit of weeding in there, but that's just a whole bed of that I'm just picking from every day. And then I'll show you the bed next to it. In this bed here is my courgettes. There's lots of courgettes in there. There's some spinach in there that I didn't put in so long ago, actually. The red kitten one, you can see it just over there. But they are going to seed really fast now because of the time of year and the temperature. So I'm going to have to change my variety of spinach, I think, and save them more for the autumn. And then you can see there's got lots of those pretty Lola Rosa salad leaves in there as well, which are doing really well at this time of year. But I think as it gets warmer, they don't do so well. They didn't do so well for me last year. I've also got some mustard in here as well, some red mustard. That's really nice, that's really tasty. And then at the back here, I've got these two courgettes, and these are going to be the climbing courgettes. So they're just next to my frame here. I'm hoping they're going to climb up. But this one seems to be making his way away from it and going across the bed, so I'll have to sort him out. Okay, the next new bed that I don't think this was in last time is my bean and corn bed and squash bed. So you can see I've made the climbing frames for the beans, and they're all around there. And then in the middle I've planted a squash. Again, I really have to remember to put the labels in because I don't know what that is, so that'll be exciting when it comes. And then here we've got some sweet corn. So they're planted kind of together, and then in between the sweet corn I've got some French beans. I did have more French beans, but the chickens busted in here and they stampled the beans, so I've just sown some more of them up in the polytunnel. But this bed's looking really nice. And then if we swing to the right of it, this bed here, this has got more kale in. This kale's doing really well. Some more salad leaves going down the bed. Beetroot down there, and what else is down there? I think that's it. Kale and beetroot and some chard mixed into there, and obviously lots of lettuce in between. Oh, and spring onions, you can see them coming up there in the middle, so they're in there. And then just next to that bed I've got another bed here. It's got some beetroot, some more kale and kohlrabi, but this is the one that they got into the other day, so I don't know if you can see through the netting. I don't want to take this netting off really because it's not strapped down too well, but yeah, look, they ate all the leaves of my kohlrabi, but it still seems to be doing all right. And my poor unfortunate kale over there, that's the second time they've got that kale, little buggers. And then just last bed behind it here, I got more corn in, and some more squash. So squash and corn in that bed together. And then obviously just on the end here is my little onion bed. Again, a little bit squash because the chickens keep walking across the top of it, so I'll have to secure the top there with something as well. I just realised I forgot to mention this bed. This bed's just next to the bean and pea bed. This one's just got some squash in and some corn as well. I put them in, and another bit of lettuce, but this is another one struggling to keep the chickens out of this one. That's it for this allotment, my allotment with the chickens. What we'll do, we'll take a stroll down to my third allotment where I've got in the squashes. They are not doing very well, so we'll have a quick look at them, and we can also have a look at the cucumbers that I've got going in the greenhouse down there, because they are looking amazing actually. So let's go and take a walk down there and see. Just on the way to the other allotment, I thought I'd just nip in here into the polytunnel. You can check out all my chilies. So these are chilies and peppers on a mix, but they are getting fruits on them now. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, they're getting fruits on them, which is quite exciting. So there's a whole mix there. I have actually got these ones labelled, so when they come through, I will know what they are. And then there's a little apple tree on the end that we've grown from seed. Every year we grow an apple tree from seed, from an apple that we just buy from the supermarket, and we just plant them around and see how they turn up. And then along here we've got Tomato City. Got some lemongrass down there as well. Tomatoes, that's a loofah down in the corner. Loofahs are growing quite slowly really. I don't know if it's just not warm enough for them at the moment, but they're super slow growers. More tomatoes. We got more tomatoes, more tomatoes, more tomatoes, more tomatoes. Lots and lots of tomatoes. Over here, actually, I've managed to get some celeriac. It's a heritage variety, but I've actually managed to get that to germinate, which is quite exciting. And then they're just some leftover lemon balm babies, I think. And then in here, I've got my next succession coming along of lettuces. So I'm trying to just keep the lettuce going in a succession now. So there's some more rhodon there. I think that'll probably be the last batch of rhodon that I sow, because I know that it's not going to stand up to the heat of summer. And then some red cabbages over there that are coming along. They'll be ready to go out soon. And then over this side, there's some more beans down there that are waiting to go out. And then, yeah, some more lettuce over here. And my comfrey up there at the top. So they're all just waiting to get a little bit bigger now, and then I can put them out hopefully in the bed. And the tomatoes are flowering really well already, which is good. So let's go down to the other allotment and I'll show you these pumpkins. So this is the third allotment. Now, there's not a lot going on down here. Like I said, I only got this allotment just to take care of those couple of rescue ducks that we got that ended up getting eaten by the fox anyway. So to be honest, it's too much for me to manage having 3 allotments, as well as working and trying to grow everything. It's just too much. So we're going to give this allotment up again in January when the tenancy ends, for someone else to take over. So I'm just doing a little bits and bobs in it here and there. So I did plant the pumpkins in, and I planted them in mounds, if you remember that video, but they're really not doing very well. They've been in for probably well over a month now, and yeah, they're not looking very healthy at all. I'll show them to you. And then I've got a polytunnel just over the other side over there, and we'll have a look in there, and that's where I've got the cucumbers going. So this allotment's been really good for me to have the cucumbers and having their own space, because I didn't know what I was going to do with them in our polytunnel, because it's a shared polytunnel. So that side that I've got, that's my only space in there. But let me show you these ones and see what you think. So these are the ones that we planted in mounds. So I'm really disappointed with this one. This is the giant pumpkin. Now you just have to ignore the weeds around it at the moment. I just haven't got around to doing it, but it's not dead, but it's just not going anywhere very fast. The one in the corner over there has been eaten. The one over there is still going really, really slow as well. And then there's 2 more here. Let's turn around. Sorry, makes you dizzy. We've got one there, again, not doing much. And then there's one over here that's doing all right. I'm not sure what that is. I think that's a crown prince. So that crown prince is doing all right, but the rest are really not doing very well at all. And I really had high hopes for these. I thought they were going to do amazing. I'm not too sure why. Let's have a quick look in the polytunnel. So here we go in the polytunnel. So this is my cucumbers. They go all the way along there. They're looking really super healthy actually at the moment. And then at the back here, we've got the sweet potatoes that are in a bag. They're still looking all right. They're definitely growing as well. And I've got some more cucumbers at the back there. And I think I've sown some more cucumbers just to fill in the last bit of fence as well. So those should be a good succession on cucumbers. And then we've got the other sweet potatoes that I planted in here. Now, this is the one I've been watering this every day with a couple of barrels of water, because I didn't prepare this straw before I put them in. And they're doing really well, but the only thing is my straw is growing weeds. So now every morning I have to come in here and I have to pull all this grass weed out that's growing in it, which is a bit of a nightmare. I never even thought about that. I guess because I've made it so damp, there must have been some seed in it. But the sweet potatoes are still doing all right. They're still alive so far. And then we've got the tomato plants over here that we're doing the experiment on with the different types of watering. And they're all looking really, really healthy at the moment as well. So that's it for my allotment tour for the end of May. We will check in again maybe at the end of June and we'll see if I have not drowned under everything that I need to do, because I'm going to be honest, I'm finding it a tad stressful at the moment with keeping on top of everything and everything that needs doing daily. It'd be okay if I could spend 6 hours a day here every single day, then it'd be absolutely fine. But when you've got to do other stuff as well, it can start to feel a little bit stressful and overwhelming, but we'll get there. I'm gonna go look at some cabbage recipes, see what I can do with all that cabbage, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.